My name is Stephen Shoemaker. I graduated from Sunset in 2011. After that, I spent 2 years at Portland Community College before transferring to Portland State for another 2 years and obtaining my bachelor's degree in computer science. While I was at Portland State, I participated in a paid internship program called the Portland Cooperative Educational Program, more commonly referred to as PSEP. In the program, you do 6-month rotations at various companies around Portland, and it's a great experience. I highly recommend checking out the program if you happen to be attending PSU for anything software related. After graduation, I took a position at one of the companies I had the privilege of interning with, Viewpoint Construction. There, I work as a DevOps engineer, where I, along with my team, are responsible for making, maintaining, modifying, and monitoring all of our various virtual environments for half a dozen different products. We are also in charge of deploying all code to staging and production environments. So I did not do the full IB diploma. I just took a few IB classes. And I found they were beneficial for the same reason I'm sure you've been told 1,000 times. They give you a head start. They get your gen ed credits out of the way. In fact, by the first day of college, I had already completed an entire term's worth of credits. Not to mention, I got my math and foreign language requirements out of the way, thanks to IB classes, which is a wonderful benefit in and of themselves. That being said, I do believe there is a place where IB classes shine even more, and that is their preparation for what will be expected of you in a typical college course. When I first walked into college, I walked into a lecture hall with 200 students, and the instructor talked for 2 hours straight. Did not stop for breaks, he did not stop for questions, and I had to just furiously take notes before he flipped to the next slide. And were I not prepared from taking IB Math and IB Physics beforehand, I would have been blindsided by this. And I remember in high school thinking that these classes were ridiculous and no one would ever do this, but it was a wonderful way to prep for what you will experience while you're in college. So I'm going to answer this question with a short story. Excuse the digression. When I was interviewing for one of my internships, the interviewer asked me about my first job. I happened to work for my grandfather at his plumbing business before he retired. And the interviewer asked me something along the lines of what I learned while in this position. And I gave him a half-hearted answer. I learned self-management. And the interviewer looked at me and said, "But what'd you really learn?" And it caught me off guard, but after thinking about it for a minute, my response was this: I learned that that's not what I want to do for the rest of my life. And when it comes to college and choosing a degree that you're going to spend the next 4 years working towards, it is practically impossible to know what you'll be like in 4 years and whether you'll even want that degree. So the best thing you can possibly do while you're in high school to prepare for that is figure out what you don't like. If you are an introvert, take theater classes, take public speaking classes. If you are terrible at math and science, do physics. If you cannot open a Word document without needing assistance, take a technology class with G. Because maybe you'll get lucky. Maybe you'll learn that you like something that you didn't know that you did before. But more than likely, you'll start narrowing down the list. So I have two answers to this question. The first is this. At Sunset, the teachers are paid to make their students successful. In college, the teachers are paid to show up. I'm not saying this to criticize all instructors. In fact, there are absolutely fabulous ones throughout Portland Community College and PSU, and I'm sure every other college in the U.S. That being said, there are certainly instructors who are just going for the paycheck, and you will have to endure them. The second is this. In Sunset, collaboration was big. Group projects were something of a norm. In college, not so much. In fact, just meeting after class to discuss a project and approaches to it is often frowned upon because that might be plagiarism. And this varies greatly between instructors, but it's something you will have to look out for. Every student in high school has done this for at least one course, where they have taken a course and they have figured out what it takes to get a good grade, and they've worked the system. They've turned in the right assignments, they speak up when necessary, they study the right material and get a good grade on the tests, and then they walk out the door and they say, I've literally already forgotten everything they taught me. Don't do that. In college, there's a little bit more motivation there because you are paying a lot of money in order to take those courses. But it's still very tempting to just figure out how the teacher works, how to get a good grade, and just get it over with and move on. But you will find that if you graduate college and apply for a job and say you've taken courses and you can't answer basic questions about what those courses were, you will not be hired. So take the time to learn the material, make it stick.